What if everything you've learned about trading is the exact reason you keep losing? What if the strategies you memorized, the indicators you trust, and the signals you chase are not tools, but traps? And what if 26 years of real trading experience could save you the next 20 years of pain? Before we dive in, tap subscribe now. Not for me, but for you. So you never miss another lesson that could save your money, your sanity, and your future in the market. Let's begin. 26 years ago, I wasn't a professional trader. I was just a kid with a loud, buzzing computer and a dream that felt bigger than my reality. Trading looked like magic. Charts moving like waves, numbers blinking like a secret code, profits appearing in a single click. I didn't see the danger. I didn't respect the risk. I didn't understand the psychology. I saw only the reward. I believed I could learn fast. I believed I was different. I believed discipline was optional. That belief cost me everything. I chased every candle that moved too fast. I entered trades not because they made sense, but because I was afraid of missing out. My hands would sweat. My heart would pound. I'd stare at the screen as if staring harder would control the candle. But the market is patient. And one day, it waits long enough to show you the truth. I remember the night when it finally did. It was raining outside. That slow, cold kind of rain that makes the whole world feel heavy. The room was dark except for the neon glow of my screen. I was in a massive trade. Too big, too reckless, too emotional. I told myself it would reverse. That it had to reverse. That I couldn't lose. That I wouldn't lose. But the candle didn't care what I needed. It only moved. And it moved against me. 1 pips. 5 pips. 10. 20. My breathing got louder. My grip on the mouse got tighter. My chest felt like it was collapsing. And then. Margin call. Instant. Red flash. Account gone. Silence. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I didn't get angry. I simply stopped. Because in that moment, something broke inside me. And when something breaks, something else becomes visible. The market wasn't destroying me. It was exposing me. Revealing the fear I never admitted. Revealing the ego I never saw. Revealing the lack of discipline I tried to hide. That night wasn't the end. It was the beginning. Because I learned the first real rule of trading. You don't trade charts. You trade your own psychology. Projected onto charts. A fearful trader sees danger everywhere. A greedy trader sees opportunity everywhere. A desperate trader thinks every candle is salvation. A stubborn trader refuses to close losers. A proud trader refuses to accept reality. For years, I thought the solution was more knowledge. More strategies. More indicators. More analysis. But knowledge didn't save me. Indicators didn't protect me. Strategy didn't fix me. Because my real enemy wasn't the market. It was me. My impulses. My illusions. My refusal to accept uncertainty. My addiction to being right. The market doesn't reward intelligence. It rewards discipline. It rewards consistency. It rewards emotional control. The truth is simple. The market isn't designed to take your money. It's designed to reveal your weaknesses. The moment you fix those weaknesses, your entire trading life changes. You breathe differently. You see the chart clearly. You stop forcing trades. You stop chasing revenge. You stop gambling. You start surviving. You start thinking. You start waiting. You start controlling yourself. And once you control yourself, you control your trading. This segment is the beginning of that transformation. The night everything fell apart was the night everything truly began. In the next segment, I'll reveal the psychological traps that destroy traders. The ones that took me years to notice, and even longer to escape. There's something no one tells you when you start trading. The chart isn't the battlefield. Your mind is. And once I accepted this truth, I began seeing patterns. Patterns not in the market, but in myself. These patterns weren't technical or analytical. They were psychological traps. Silent. Invisible. Deadly. They didn't just take my money. They took years of my life. In this segment, I'm going to share the traps that nearly destroyed me. And destroy thousands of traders every single day. Because if you recognize even one of these traps in yourself, you have a chance to break it. Let's begin. This is the first trap every trader falls into. You think you can control the market. You analyze harder. You study longer. You stack indicators like armor. You try to force the chart to obey your logic. But control is an illusion. You cannot control what the market does. You can only control how much you bleed when you're wrong. Back then, I believed effort equals accuracy. That studying more would guarantee a profitable outcome. But the market doesn't reward effort. It rewards discipline. I learned this when a perfect setup, textbook perfect, went against me without warning. No news. No reason. No explanation. Just a reminder. You are not in control. That was the day I stopped trying to predict. And started focusing on protecting. The second trap is the most dangerous. You do not see your own emotions while you are trading. Fear doesn't call itself fear. Greed doesn't announce itself. Desperation doesn't knock on your door. They disguise themselves as logic. Fear says, "Don't miss this move." Greed says, "Hold a little longer." Desperation says, "This one trade can fix everything." I didn't know how emotional I truly was until I started journaling. Every entry, every exit, every impulse. I wrote it down. That's when I saw it clearly. 80% of my losses came from emotional blindness. Not bad analysis. Not bad setups. Not bad strategy. Just emotions I refused to admit were there. Every trader has emotional blind spots. Most discover them only after they lose everything. Revenge isn't anger. Revenge is identity protection. When you lose, your ego breaks. Your confidence collapses. You start feeling like a failure. So you take another trade. Not to make money, but to repair your identity. I've done it. We all have. The market takes $100. So you try to take $200 back. Then $500. Then everything. But revenge isn't about money. It's about pride. And pride is the most expensive emotion in trading. The hardest truth I learned? A trader doesn't blow up because they lose. A trader blows up because they refuse to stop losing. Your most dangerous moment in trading is not after a loss. It's after a win. Winning feels like destiny. Like proof you've figured everything out. Like the market finally respects you. That feeling is poison. My biggest losses came right after massive wins. Why? Because confidence turned into arrogance. Arrogance turned into overexposure. And overexposure turned into disaster. Success creates a lie in your head. I'm finally good at this. But trading punishes pride faster than it punishes mistakes. To survive, you must stay neutral. Not excited. Not euphoric. Not overconfident. Just balanced. This is the trap that captures millions of traders. You believe that somewhere out there's a strategy that never loses. You spend weeks searching. You test indicators. You chase signals. You buy courses. You follow gurus. You think you're improving. But you're actually running. Running away from the truth. Your problem is not your strategy. Your problem is your psychology. A mediocre strategy with strong discipline beats a perfect strategy with emotional instability. Every single time. The moment I stopped chasing the perfect setup and started mastering execution, my trading life changed. Not instantly, but permanently. When I discovered these traps, I realized something. Trading wasn't destroying me. It was evolving me. Every loss was a lesson. Every failure was feedback. Every mental breakdown was a mirror. Trading forces you to face the parts of yourself you avoid. Your fear. Your impulses. Your ego. Your illusions of control. And if you're strong enough to confront them, you become more than a trader. You become someone unshakable. Someone disciplined. Someone self-controlled. Someone prepared for chaos. The trader you are today cannot survive tomorrow. You must evolve. There comes a moment in every trader's life where you must decide. Are you going to continue losing the same way? Or are you going to evolve? For me, that moment came after years of psychological chaos. Fearful entries, greedy exits, revenge trades, emotional breakdowns, sleepless nights, blown accounts. For years I thought trading was a financial problem. But I learned the truth. Trading is a psychological journey disguised as a financial one. To win in the market, I had to rebuild myself from the inside out. And in this segment, I'll share the exact systems I used to take back control of my mind. The routines, the rules, and the mental frameworks that turned chaos into clarity. These aren't theories. These are survival skills. Let's begin. The first shift was brutal. I had to eliminate emotion from my decision-making. Not suppress it. Control it. So I built a ritual. Before every trade, I would pause. Not to predict. Not to think. But to feel. Was I excited? I didn't trade. Was I scared? I didn't trade. Was I trying to recover a loss? I didn't trade. Only when I felt neutral. Calm, steady, centered. Did I allow myself to click the button? Emotional neutrality became oxygen. Because the market amplifies whatever emotion you bring into it. Enter with fear, you'll see fear in every candle. Enter with greed, you'll hold losers and exit winners too late. Enter with desperation, you'll gamble. Neutrality is not passive. Neutrality is power. One of the biggest changes I made was simple. I stopped thinking about winning the day. I focused on one trade at a time. One setup. One execution. One decision. I realized my mind would overheat when I thought in clusters. Multiple trades, multiple scenarios, multiple outcomes. So I simplified everything. My mantra became: trade the moment. Not the memory. Not the future. The next trade did not matter. The last trade did not matter. Only this trade existed. This shift alone removed 70% of my emotional noise. Then came the hardest transformation. I stopped identifying as a profit seeker. And I became a risk manager. Before this mindset shift, I would ask, how much can I make? But after years of pain, the question changed. How much can I lose without breaking my mind? This single shift turned me into a survivor. Because once you accept that risk is your only true responsibility, trading stops being gambling and becomes engineering. Risk defines your identity more than profits ever will. If you control risk, you control everything. Discipline is not something you do once. Discipline is a loop. Every day, I followed the same cycle. Prepare, execute, journal, reflect, reset. Preparation gave me calm. Execution gave me focus. Journaling gave me clarity. Reflection gave me growth. Resetting gave me neutrality. My journal was not about numbers. It was about psychology. I wrote my thoughts, my urges, my mistakes, my impulses, my emotional triggers. Patterns emerged. Truths emerged. Owning those truths changed everything. Your journal exposes your weaknesses, so you can destroy them. And finally, the most important system of all. Detach from the outcome. This was the hardest lesson. Because no matter how experienced you are, losses still hurt. But I realized something profound. I was suffering because I was attaching my identity to the result of each trade. A win meant I was good. A loss meant I was failing. This emotional attachment created a cycle of chaos. So I trained myself to detach. To see each trade as a probability event. Not a reflection of my worth. Once I detached, the fear dissolved. The pressure faded. The market became quiet. My mind became clear. Detachment is not apathy. Detachment is freedom. These systems didn't make me perfect. They made me disciplined. They didn't make me immune to losses. They made me immune to emotional collapse. And they didn't make trading easier. They made me stronger. For the first time in years, I wasn't reacting. I was responding. I wasn't rushing. I was waiting. I wasn't chasing. I was observing. I stopped trying to master the market. And focused on mastering myself. And that's when everything changed. Because once you master your mind, you don't fear the market anymore. You flow with it. In the end, trading success is not measured by your profits. It's measured by your control. Control over your emotions. Control over your impulses. Control over your identity. Control over your focus. The charts haven't changed in 100 years. But traders haven't evolved with them. So learn this truth. The market is neutral. Your mind decides everything. And once you understand that, you'll never trade the same way again. After 26 years in the market, after thousands of trades, after blowing accounts, rebuilding them, mastering discipline, breaking and rebuilding myself again, I learned something surprising. Trading mastery isn't found in a strategy, a pattern, or a technique. It's found in principles, unbreakable laws that shape the trader behind the screen. These principles became the foundation of my survival. The backbone of my clarity. The anchor that held me during the storms. If you understand these, you don't just trade better. You become better. Let's begin. Most traders try to win fast. They want big moves, big profits, big results. They sprint. But the market punishes sprinters. Because intensity is emotional. Intensity is unstable. Intensity burns out. Consistency, however. Consistency compounds. The trader who takes small, disciplined steps will always outlast the trader who chases explosive outcomes. After 26 years I learned. I don't need massive wins. I need repeatable wins. A consistent execution of a consistent process. Tiny edges, repeated endlessly. That's what builds legends. Humans hate uncertainty. Traders especially. We want the chart to make sense. We crave predictability. We want confirmation. But the market is chaos disguised as patterns. You can have the best setup of your life. And the candle still moves against you. No reason. No warning. When I stopped expecting certainty, I stopped feeling betrayed by the chart. Uncertainty became normal. Acceptable. Expected. And once I accepted uncertainty, fear lost its grip on me. A trader's strength does not come from prediction. It comes from adaptation. Every catastrophic decision in trading is fast. Entering too early. Increasing lot size impulsively. Holding a loser because it might come back. Jumping in after a loss to fix it. Bad decisions happen quickly because they come from emotion, not thought. So I built a rule. If a decision feels urgent, don't take it. Urgency is fear wearing confidence as a mask. When I slowed down my mind, my decisions became cleaner. Sharper. Calmer. A calm mind sees the truth. A rushed mind sees illusions. It took me years to accept this. Trading is 90% waiting. And only 10% execution. But beginners hate waiting. Waiting feels empty. Waiting feels passive. Waiting feels unproductive. So they force trades. They create opportunities that don't exist. The market punishes that. The market rewards those who wait patiently. For the highest quality setups. The cleanest structure. The perfect alignment. Professional traders are not adrenaline seekers. They are boredom experts. Because boredom is where discipline lives. Boredom is where consistency grows. Every trader has goals. I want to be profitable. I want to make $10,000 a month. I want to quit my job. But goals don't change your behavior. Discipline does. You don't rise to your goals. You fall to the level of your discipline. If your discipline is weak, your results will always collapse under pressure. If your discipline is strong, your results will rise naturally. So I stopped setting goals. And I started building standards. Not, I want to win today. But I follow my rules no matter what. I never trade emotionally. I cut losses instantly. I enter only when neutral. Discipline became my identity. And identity shapes destiny. For years I blamed the market for my losses. This setup should have worked. The market reversed too fast. That wick stopped me unfairly. But one day I realized. The market didn't take anything from me. I gave it away. I gave it through fear. I gave it through greed. I gave it through impatience. I gave it through ego. It was never the market. It was always me. And that realization was liberating. Because if I gave it away, then I could stop giving it away. This is ownership. And ownership is freedom. Mastery is repetitive. Predictable. Quiet. It's not glamorous. It's not exciting. It's not dramatic. It is. Same routine. Same rules. Same process. Same execution. Over and over and over. People think mastery feels powerful. In reality, it feels peaceful. You stop fighting the market. You stop fighting yourself. You move with clarity. Mastery is not loud. Mastery is silent. After 26 years, after all the wins, the losses, the breakdowns, the breakthroughs, it all comes down to a single truth. You do not become a master of the market. You become a master of yourself. The chart doesn't change. But you do. And once you evolve, once you let go of ego, urgency, fear, illusion, and chaos, you begin to trade from a place few traders ever reach. Clarity. Control. Peace. Consistency. This is the final principle. A trader's greatest edge is not a strategy. It is a disciplined mind. When you understand that, your entire trading journey transforms.